So for today's video, we are out here at
Fort Richardson State Park and Historic Site. The fort was around for about 10 years, I believe. And as we were told yesterday when we were on a tour, it wasn't a defensive fort, so it didn't even have a wall around it. It was an offensive fort. So this is where they were based and sent out to and from to go to other defensive positions, I guess. And yeah, it's just a really interesting place.
Yeah, we're out in Jacksboro, Texas. So
about an hour and a half from home, so it's really easy drive to come up here, and it's nice and quiet. And it's a very, very pretty park.
Yeah, it's a very quiet park too. At least it is right here when we're
nice
camping.
Flat trails to bike on, which that's a plus for us.
Yeah, it's a little windy today, but
and there's wind turbines just out this direction, and they are really spinning today.
Yeah. So one neat feature about this park is they have cabins available for rent. And it looks like each cabin has an RV site right on it. So you can actually travel with full hookups and then have, I believe there's bunk beds. So there's 4 other sleeping options in the cabins.
I don't think it has full hookups for the RVs, does it? It looked like it was water and electric. Like he said, if you are traveling with somebody who needs a cabin and you want to bring your RV, you got both of them on the same site.
Yeah. And I think they do have hookups. I'm pretty sure I saw sewer connections.
Cool.
So that was definitely a bonus that I saw. But the campsites here are nice. There are quite a few that have heavy shade, which is real nice for the Texas sun.
Not all of them are full hookups. I think the majority of them here are just water and electric, but that's okay too. They do have a dump site that's right in the middle of the campground right here. But we happened to snag one that has full hookups, so that was nice.
Yeah, and the park has hiking and biking trails, and there is
equestrian trails too.
They
have multi-purpose trails.
There is a trailway that'll actually take you out through Jacksboro. I believe it's about an 8-mile trail back and forth.
Yeah, something like that.
We only scratched the surface of it because we were losing daylight.
Yeah,
so.
I think we went a couple miles out, and that was about it. We didn't cross beyond the highway to get over to where the lake is and stuff. So
yeah, we took out our bikes, and it was great. It was history around every corner.
Oh, yeah.
Riding right around the fort. You got to see the different outbuildings and different rubble of remnants.
And they're really in the process of restoring things around here. They've restored some things. They're in the process of restoring others, and then they have future plans to restore even more and just kind of bring back what it looked like, so people have a better idea of what this whole area might have looked like back in the day.
Yeah, they've got 2 buildings that they were redone to the historical aspects.
Yeah, they recreated them so on the same spot that they were at, just so that you have an idea of what, and they were the barracks, I believe, so that you know what they look like.
Yeah, and it was real interesting because they matched the architecture at the time and the way they built the buildings, and they were built kind of crappy. I mean,
yeah, they built with what they had in the area, and the woods that they had in the area were not good for longevity.
Yeah, and just the way that they built them with the wood and then the mortar, and then for airflow, the soldiers would scrape the mortar out to get air flowing through the building. I thought that was amazing.
And then they would have to figure out how to patch it back up in the winter when it got cold. Another interesting thing I found is the commander's quarters. There's only one of those houses left, and it was built out of cottonwood. And if you know anything about cottonwood, it's not a great wood for a very long period of time. That's why there's only one of the houses left, apparently, because it can deteriorate but mainly because it's sought after by insects. So,
and it's currently structurally unsound.
yeah, that's another thing. They're in the process. That's one of the one they're in the process of restoring currently.
But as the ranger told us that, you know, this historic site not only is a national historic site, it's a state historic site. It is considered military grounds.
Yes.
And Texas military grounds. So for them to go back and do historic renovations, there's so many different agencies involved that it's
They
a
have to
very
go through
slow.
so much red tape.
Yeah, it's a very slow process. So,
Yeah.
but it's interesting to see how much they've preserved and what they're going to be doing.
Yeah, I think it's going to be amazing once they get a lot more of this stuff done around the area.
Yeah, this is a really cool place. It is in the plains, so you have a lot of wide open land.
A lot of wind up here.
Yeah, hence the wind turbines.
Yeah, there's tons of wind turbines, like I said, just right here. So, yeah,
Right.
it's a unique park. It's a really nice, fun park. They have a great playground, too. So if you have kids, there's a really pretty playground here, too.
Yeah, and unlike some state parks, this isn't built over a lake or on a lake. So
No, the lake is across the highway up a little bit.
they do have a fishing kind of pond area that you
Yes.
can do catch and release.
Yeah.
But it's not a big outdoorsman state park. You know, it's
No,
it's
no.
not for boating and all that.
That's up at the lake.
So this is the Fort Hospital.
Oh, okay. That explains why the morgue is out back.
Yeah. So it says during World War II, this was home for the 2nd Battalion of the 131st Field Artillery Regiment and 36th Infantry Division, Battery F.
They were standard shipped effectively, could be cut, milled, shipped out, flat packed, kind of like FedEx does, and then built as needed. So you have your standard size. If you're 6'5", oftentimes they practice amputation, knee down, put you in the box, bury your legs with you. this is our bakery. Kind of like the TARDIS if y'all watch Doctor Who. It looks a lot bigger on the inside than it does on the outside.
It does, yeah.
So this building here, it looks very different from what it would have. Now, reason for that, after the military left this place, this was privately owned and it became a house. It became a living quarters.
Nice getaway, clean campgrounds, clean facilities, you know, entertaining wildlife. I think we've seen the most deer at any state park here.
Yeah, just in riding our bikes yesterday, around every corner there was another couple of deer, and we had to slow down a couple times because they were coming across the road and we didn't want to have a collision with one of those guys.
Yeah, and I'm starting to think that our electric bikes they attract deer. Because this is the second time in a row that we've had one jumped out at you, but a few jumped out this time around for sure.
A whole lot jumped out this time. They are everywhere up here.
But yeah, this is another, close getaway that it's real nice and quiet, clean, and we definitely enjoy it.
And I'm pretty sure you can hear the wind right now. Sorry about that if there's a lot of noise. It's breezy today.
So we are not ghost hunters by any means.
No.
We've been on a few ghost tours in New Orleans and then at the Baker Hotel over here in Mineral Wells. Mm-hmm. We've always been intrigued by sci-fi stuff and paranormal, so.
But this is not fiction.
No, I would say, over the years we've seen a few things we're not sure about.
Felt different ways about certain places, but.
This is documented now.
Yeah, we have an anomaly on camera that we're not quite sure what it is. So, did we see a ghost? We can't prove that we didn't.
If you go off the picture, there was definitely something there.
There was somebody there that wasn't actually physically there.
And I have corresponding video that shows that the people that were with us weren't wearing those same clothes.
And they weren't where they could be captured. So, yeah.
So we kind of went down a rabbit hole after that.
Yeah, we went out there later in the day, again, to the same spot where we captured this. And then we didn't get anything. I had him stand. I stood exactly where I stood previously. And I had him stand. Well, I had him move until I could see him in the reflection, because I caught something in a reflection is what it was. And I had him move until I could see him in the reflection. And we know for a fact there was nobody there. So it's a little spooky that there was something on my camera that I found later. So when we went back later in the day and we didn't capture anything, so we decided to go back at night because they said we can walk the grounds at night if we want to. You just can't go in the buildings. So we went back to the same spot. I tried to capture things. I took pictures of everything around there. Captured nothing at night. So yeah, what I captured was during the day, which is kind of unusual, but it's very cool.
Yeah,
and I believe in the paranormal. I watch Ghost Adventures. We watch Skinwalker Ranch, things like that. I've always loved that stuff. So this kind of threw me for a loop.
Yeah, because initially, we thought, okay, well, it was a reflection of the mannequin, but we disproved that by just...
Yeah, the mannequin's not anywhere to be... There's a mannequin on the inside of the building, but it's not where it could be reflected into this glass, and it's a whole thing. But when I initially saw the picture, I was stunned, and I sat there for 10 minutes trying to debunk it, to try to figure it out, and I couldn't. And that's when I told him, and he's like, oh, so we gotta go look.
Oh, and we brought up a side-by-side image of the mannequin versus what the image that was in the window. and they don't match.
No, they don't match at
the
all.
clothing is similar, but the stance and stature is completely.
Well, and I tried to get a reflection of anything in that window again from where I was standing and just moving the camera around, and I couldn't do it. So it wasn't that mannequin, because the mannequin's still there, but I couldn't. So it wasn't that, and it was at the opposite end of the building, facing a different direction, so it wouldn't have been that anyway. So we just took a dive down the rabbit hole there. So anyway,
Hey.
Excuse our ramblings. This really caught us off guard.
Yeah, I mean, we went into it, thinking fun of ghost hunting is a kind of a joke, but we actually found something. So I don't know.
And the building that we're talking about, where we captured this in a window, is the Fort Hospital. It's the biggest building out here now. It's the hospital, and it was one of the lower windows right below the upper floor part of it, where that used to be the morgue. And we were between the hospital building and the morgue building when this was captured. So does that have something to do with it? I don't know.
Yeah, the rangers said that before they built the actual outbuilding morgue, that they were using the upstairs of the hospital as a morgue.
And that was a typical thing back then, but they realized
in the Texas climate.
Yeah, and building the building here and doing that in this climate was not a good idea, because heat rises, and Texas, as you know, has a lot of heat. So they're like, yeah, we need to do something about that. So they built a separate building behind the hospital for that.
All right, we're back out here at the fort.
It's Fort Hospital and Morgue back here.
We were reviewing some photos and found some...
I found a reflection on one of my photos that didn't match any of the 4 of us that were on a tour. So we're going to go back out here and see if we can debunk it, or if it just still remains a mystery. And I just nearly tripped in a hole.
Yeah, so we can't explain what we see in the photo. So we're coming back out here in the daylight to see if we can figure it out. And if not, maybe we'll come back out here at night and do some real ghost hunting.
Stay tuned. Over there, but whatever.
Yeah, there's no way you can see that mannequin. There's no way.
Here. I was here when I took that photo, and nobody was over here. Okay, stand here. Stand right here where I am. No, right here behind me. Okay. I'm going to move this way.
Okay.
Tell me when you see me in that. Can you?
I can't see you at all. Now I can, right? That would be right about there is where it was.
There was nobody over here.
Here, come, let's switch places. You can see what I'm talking about.
There was literally nobody over there. Y'all are already off the steps.
But where I see you is right about here. Isn't that about where that reflection was?
Go up a step to your left. No, up the step. Something was on the step, or he was tall.
It says valued.
Okay. Nobody was over there.
Nobody was over here.
Oh my God. Oh my God. The mannequins are at there. He doesn't reflect. So there's a mannequin in that window where Jim is, but he's not faced this way.
Yeah, I mean, the mannequin's right here. Can you see me at all in the reflection?
No.
So there's no way, even with...
No, because I know where I was standing, and those I can see those posts, but nothing of those windows.
Tell me where you can see me. If you can see me at all.
Okay, we're doing a test, seeing if we can find Jim. I can't see it by the front. Come down a step. Okay, come down one more. Right there.
So the person was parallel with you.
He wanted in my shot.
He wanted to be known.
Okay.
Because he was like just like this, with his arms down.
Yeah. It had, wow, okay. Somebody had to have been right there.
Everybody else was over there.
Yeah. Okay, this is the morgue. This is the old hospital. The upstairs is where the morgue once was, and they realized that's a bad idea because heat rises and we're in Texas. So they moved it out here. A lot of people died of a lot of different things in this place.
Just a side note, if you do happen to come up here to Fort Richardson State Park, gas directly around here is 50 cents more than the local big towns. So make sure you fill up before you come into town.
Yeah, that really threw us because at home, you know, hour and a half away, it was what, 3?
Oh, not even an hour and a half away. I would say 20 miles.
Okay.
You could get gas for $2.94.
Okay.
Where the
I wasn't
cheapest
sure.
gas up here was $3.59.
$3.69.
$3.69. So yeah, well over 50 cents. My bad.
Yeah, it's a little ridiculous, but they are the only gas stations up here, so.
Yeah, and those gas stations are in Jacksboro.
Yeah.
But if you fill up in Lake Worth, or even outside of Lake Worth a little bit, you're still, in Springtown was still cheaper.
Yeah.
So just a side note, you know. All right, guys, that's all we have for you on Fort Richardson State Park. We hope you found it entertaining. If you did, think about subscribing. We would love to have you as subscribe to the channel. Ring that notification bell to let YouTube know that you're interested in us.
And leave your comments below. Let us know what you think. Do you believe in ghosts? Have you seen any?
Have you done any ghost hunting trips, experiences? So, but until next time, guys, we'll see you out there.
See you out there. Bye.